Hi there, I'm Roux. Welcome to my video. This one is particularly special to me because it is your stories. The ones that you submitted to me through my comments or through my Discord or through my Instagram. I really hope you like what I do with it. I'm so excited that so many people are excited about my video, so let's get started. This video's shout out goes to Marble Fanatic the Gay. Your voice is just so pretty and I love listening to these while I draw or talk to my friends. You should do audiobooks. I absolutely love your channel and hopefully I'll have time to draw some fan art for you soon. I hope so too. That is also something you can do on my Discord. You can submit your stories and you can submit fan art. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I did try my hand at some audiobooks, some Pride and Prejudice, but damn, that is a lot of chapters, but it was a lot of fun. I think I would love doing audiobooks, yeah. So if anybody in the business of the audiobooks are listening to this, hit me up. Okay, let's get started. I'm Selfish. Story submitted by Kevin Dutcher. I will call this Bratty Sis. It was my birthday and I have been waiting for what feels like forever. That's when a package comes. My parents tell me, finish your chores and you can open it. I finish my chores faster than ever. I hurriedly open it and see the computer that I've been waiting for. That's when Bratty Sis comes in. Oh, cool! Where's my present? Note, her birthday is in March and this is in October. Just wait a couple of months and you'll get one. But I want one now. Mom, just wait for your birthday. No! Starts crying. We have to go out to her favorite restaurant just for her to shut up and stop crying. I just wish that didn't count as my birthday dinner. Turns out it did, because I didn't protest. So me being the sensitive one, I start complaining as I didn't even order anything. My parents then call me ungrateful and selfish. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm guessing you're the older one too, and she's younger. That's like, I feel like so many people fall into this trap when they have kids where they're like, oh, the youngest one needs to be babied. And it never ends well. Never. Like, they treat the older kid with way higher standards and like way harsher than the younger kid, and then the younger kid is just like, I want it. And then they go, oh, sorry, little baby, you're a little baby forever. Just saying right now, as a person whose biological father was the youngest child and babied, and that's why he's a deadbeat asshole, yeah, it never ends well. People need to stop doing that. And Kevin Dutcher, you're not selfish and ungrateful. And she's the one who's going to have personality issues if they continue doing this. A dream is a wish your heart makes. When you're super entitled and you're trying to take it away from sick children. Oh my. You'd be shocked what people do when they discover a very sick kid is getting something for free and their kids aren't. My baby brother was the victim of a horrible medical malpractice when he was 6 months old. This left him with progressive encephalopathy, aka progressive brain death, extreme and uncontrollable epilepsy, and to top it all off, when he was 5, they discovered he had cystic fibrosis. Obviously, a kid that sick wasn't projected to live long. Like many small children with a terminal diagnosis, when he was 5, his doctors referred him to Make-A-Wish, a charity that grants wishes to terminally ill children. Since my brother loved the local amusement park, my parents asked to take him to Disney World. Let's just say, Make-A-Wish treats you right. We had a limo to the airport, a 2-bedroom condo in Give Kids the World Village, a resort solely for kids with Make-A-Wish, and passes to not only Disney World, but also SeaWorld and Universal Studios. Random important tidbit. When you're with Make-A-Wish, they give the Wish Kid a huge button to wear to make it easier for staff places to spot families. My brother thought buttons were idiotic, so my mom wore it the whole trip. One of the activities they send families to while at Universal is a free dinner at the Hard Rock Cafe. We arrived at the cafe to find it packed to the brim. My older brother and I were super excited about eating there, 7 and 10 years old, so my mom reluctantly waited in the line at the hostess stand to see how long the wait was. When the woman in front of us put her name in, also for a family of 5, she was told the wait time was 90 minutes. She huffed a bit but gave in to wait. Having overheard the 90-minute wait time, my mom began telling us we couldn't wait that long and she was sorry, but we'd have to eat somewhere else. Spotting the huge button on my mom's shirt, the hostess immediately waved us over and grabbed 5 menus. Hostess: "You're with Make-A-Wish, right?" Mom: "Yeah, we are, but we can't wait that long." Hostess: "No worries, we keep a table reserved for Make-A-Wish families. We can seat you immediately." Mom breathes a huge sigh of relief and turns to follow hostess. It was at this point that the woman in front of us, aka the choosing beggar, overheard what was happening. "That's not fair," stomps her foot. "Why don't they have to wait?" They're with Make-A-Wish. We keep tables reserved for our Make-A-Wish families, so they can get the maximum enjoyment from their trips. "If my kids have to wait, so do they." More foot stomping and huffing. "No, they don't. I say who sits when. They sit now, you have to wait. End of story." "It should be the opposite of that. They already get a free vacation, and now they get to skip lines too? That's not fair. Someone needs to give my sons a free vacation." Hostess, clearly fed up with choosing beggars bullshit: "Tell you what, when one of your kids is dying, I'll let you skip the line. Until then, be grateful you'll get to see your kids live to adulthood." Savage! Oh yeah. And with that, the hostess promptly sat us and apologized for the woman's horrid behavior. Considering it was normally my mom apologizing for my brother's goofy behavior, she was completely stunned to have someone stand up for us like that. In fact, we were so well treated on our trip that my parents found a way to save every single spare penny and find the cheapest possible option so that we could go to Disney each fall for 1 week. I got to go a total of 4 times with my brother before he passed away at the age of 10, and I'm more grateful than words can say for the kindness and compassion we were repeatedly shown on our trips. That's amazing. I'm so happy that you got to enjoy a really good time with your brother. That's really important, especially when you know you won't be able to be around them for as long as you'd love to. It's crazy though, like some people, literally, they're like, "Well, you get a free vacation because you're dying. Obviously should wait in line." Like, are you kidding me? That's just so sad, it blows my mind. Oh my god. Oh my god. Cathy even sent me some pictures of her brother, so here's some wonderful pictures of them at Disney World. It looks amazing. I've never been to Disney World. It's not nearby, put it like that. So it would be really cool though to live in like California and have Disney right next door. But yeah, it looks like you're having a great time in the pictures, and I'm really happy for you that you got to enjoy that time with your brother. It's so precious, and I'm really happy for you. Thanks for submitting the story, Cathy. Frozen. Lane D submitted a story. "I got a story for you that I always get a kick out of. I was working at Walmart in the frozen food section. In my area, the large bags of Eine crinkle cut fries aren't very popular, but they still sell, so we always order the same amount each week. I'm filling the freezers, and this old man comes up to me and asks if there were more in the back. He shows me that he has 2 bags in his cart, so I agree to scan them and check the system. He follows me to where they are, I scan them, and it shows up that there are only 2 bags in the entire store, the 2 in his cart. I'm sorry, sir, but it looks like you've got the last 2, but sometimes we have things that don't show up in the system, so I'd be happy to go back there to check it for you."
"Okay, you do that and I'll wait here."
I thank the man for his patience and go into the back through one of the doors. I climb around in the giant freezer, move things around, and generally mess up the order trying to find the fries. I can't. So I go out the door and the old man is sitting just outside them waiting for me. Not an issue, it happens all the time. At this point, I'm just happy he didn't decide to follow me into the back. You'd be surprised how often that happens. "I'm sorry, sir, but I can't find any. We've got a case coming on the truck tonight, so I'd be happy to set one aside for you." "You're not out." "I know, because I come here every week and I get the same number of these." "I'm happy for your continued patronage, sir, but the last 2 in the store are in your cart. I'm afraid we won't get any more until later tonight."
"Bah, it's useless talking to you. Let me speak to your manager."
I scream internally and curse my general luck at getting a stubborn old man this early in my shift. I ask him to wait there for a moment and go to call a manager using the phone. I told the person where to send the manager, so I go back out to the old man. I called, so a manager should be here shortly. It's been a few years, so I can't remember if it's because it's how we're trained, or if I just did it so the man would know I was being serious, but I stood there with him waiting. A few minutes later, the one manager I was praying not to show comes walking down the aisle with her own scanner. I say my prayers to myself as she comes up and politely asks the man if there's anything she can help him with. Yes, I asked this guy where to find more of these fries and he won't give them to me. She looks at me and asks if there were any in the back. I told her that I had scanned them and even went into the back to double check. She scans them herself and sees that the data reflects exactly what I told her. She turns to the man and tells him exactly the same thing I did about how he's got the last 2 in the store and that we won't get any more until a truck later that night. The man accepts this and rolls off. The manager thanks him for his continued patronage, and I have the smuggest grin ever plastered on my face. It's so funny that I feel like sometimes old people are so set in their ways. It's a little comical, like to the point where it's like they refuse to believe you if you say something else. So it's kind of like funny, cute. I don't know. It's hilarious though that he's like, you're keeping out on me. There's secret bags in the back. You're lying to me. And he won't believe you until the manager shows up. That's hysterical. Thank you, Landy, for submitting that.
JeffMe.
The next person who submitted wants to be anonymous, and that's okay too. If you want to submit a story, you can be anonymous or not. That's up to you. Let's get started. I should start off by saying when this happened, I was 17 and worked as a freelance animator. I didn't make a massive amount for the time I put into them, but being proper animation, of course, it's not very cheap. I was playing Overwatch with a group of random people, and I'd been with them for a couple of hours and we were having a great time. At some point, it came up in the conversation and I mentioned I was an animator. Immediately, some girl in the group said, "Oh, could you do a GIF of me? I'll pay." I responded with something along the lines of, "Sure, what's your Instagram and we'll discuss further, although for a GIF that'll be about 50 euros. Is that alright?" She said, "That's fine," before someone else in the group butted in with, "LOL, fuck that, I'd do it for free," and we all had a laugh and continued playing. This is important. Okay, we'll remember for later. Anyway, after I finished off for the day, I messaged her basically saying, "Alright, so what do you want?" What she wanted was a GIF of her doing the Eine dance, which is fine. I can do that. Not well, but I can do that. I then said again how it would be 50 euros, and she said that's fine. So I went to bed, and when I woke up, I got to work on it. After a couple of hours, I'd finished keyframing, and I dropped her a message saying I'd just finished keyframing, which after about half an hour, she responded with, "Cool, this is free, right?" Of course, I stopped. "No, I said 50 euros, and you said that was okay?" "No, but in the party you said you'd do it for free." "No, I didn't. Someone else joked that they would." "Crap, I'm sorry. I was drinking a bit last night. I don't have the money. I'm really sorry." Now that in itself is annoying, but understandable. I get it. I could just chalk it up to someone's drunken mistake. We all make them. Well, that's what I thought until the next bit of interaction.
"Well, since you're nearly done, could you just do it anyway?"
What? No. I've already lost a lot of time on this. I'm not going to waste even more on something I'm not getting paid for.
"But you're nearly done, and it's of me, so it's not like you could sell it to anyone else. So why not just use it as an experience?"
No.
"Okay, bye."
And then she had the audacity to block me. Anyway, the moral of the story, always take an upfront payment. Of course, I got blocked, so I had to type all of this from memory, so some parts aren't word for word. Wow. Yeah, it kind of sounds like she was doing this on purpose though, because as you said, like many times she was like, "Oh, 50 euros, that's okay, 50 euros, that's okay." Even when drunk, you know what that means. And I starting to suspect she wasn't actually drunk. She was just like, "Well, I'm just gonna get this person to make this, and then halfway through I'm gonna be like, well, it's free, right?" And then they're gonna go, "No." And then I'm going to trick them by being like, "Well, it's of me, so you might as well just finish it and give it to me." Yeah, that sounds like it was pretty premeditated. I'm just saying.
"No seat for you."
Submitted by SophieKate. I have a condition called Chiari malformation. It means that I have horrendous headaches, nausea, and balance and coordination issues, and lightheadedness. One time I was coming home from school after a day mostly spent in the medical room. I was eager to get home, so I decided to get the train home. I live in London where train stations can get pretty busy at times. My train was due in 10 minutes and I really wasn't feeling good and was basically about to fall over. I headed towards the benches on the platform. There was an elderly man who was sitting. I thought that he looked like he needed the seat more than me, so I let him sit, leaning on the pillar near me. The man got up to get on his train. Relieved, I started to move as fast as I could towards the seat. I was now holding my head because it hurt so much. As I tried to take a seat, an around 30-year-old woman dived into the seat that I was clearly about to take. I looked at her, about to fall over because of the pain. She looked at me and said,
"You don't need this seat. I've had a hard day at work and I need to sit down."
At this point, I couldn't speak because of the pain. I stumbled away. I had to embarrass myself even more and sit on the wet floor. Luckily, my train came soon. Oh my God. I get so infuriated with people who are like, well, I can't see your disability. Or they're just like one of those assholes who are like, I don't care if people have disabilities, I'm just gonna take this seat anyways. Like, what is wrong with these people? That is so sick. Shame on that lady. Shame on you, Brenda. Thank you for submitting that, SophieKate. I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better.
My name is Jeff.
Submitted in the Submit Your Story section of my Discord by none other than Guard of Their Potato-ness, Desvolt. Okay. My brother has been dealing with some anxiety issues for a while, and one notable incident with an entitled parent and her son, who we will call Jeff, an entitled parent. My brother sometimes stress eats when he's anxious and is kind of chubby. One day we stopped at his favorite restaurant and we order. As we wait in line, we notice a woman walk in on her phone with her son being dragged in with her. The kid seems hungry and the mother finishes her call. I couldn't help but eavesdrop and hear,
"I'm hungry, Mommy." "You have to wait, hon. The lines are really long." "But I'm really hungry."
At this point, he's whining and our food is done. We pick it up and we walk past the entitled parent and she says,
"Excuse me, do you think we could have your food? My son is very hungry and he cannot wait anymore."
My brother says, "I'm sorry, we paid for this food plus had to wait for 10 minutes in line."
"Really? You children are so selfish you can't give your food to a child that's very hungry?"
At this point, she's attracted a huge amount of attention to us and we decide to walk to the door and leave. Entitled parent blocks the door. My brother speaks up and says, "What are you doing?"
"Waiting for you to give me my food?"
"Why would we give you the food we paid for?"
"Because Jeff is hungry and needs his food."
Jeff is now wailing like a child when he gets apples on Halloween. Thankfully, there are 2 exits on each side of the restaurant and we walk out the other entrance while entitled parent yells slurs behind us. By the way, entitled parent, the food was delicious. I feel like sometimes people are going to be like, oh yeah, that didn't happen, it sounds too insane. You've obviously never run into people who literally think that their child is the center of the universe and they're basically narcissistic people with identity disorders and they genuinely think that everyone should just drop everything they're doing to give some food to Jeff. So, yeah. They cray. I don't think Jeff would be hurting if he had to learn to have to wait for 10 minutes, you know? I don't think that would hurt Jeff. I think that would turn him into a better person than his parent. Thank you for submitting that, my personal guard. Drama at the opera. Submitted by Chedmurovsky. Is that Russian? That's pretty cool. This happened some years ago while I worked as a doorman in an opera house as my first job. It was a good opportunity to make some money while in high school, as well as watching all of the operas and ballets for free. I studied classical music. The rules of the opera house are as follows. Every performance starts at 8 p.m. The tickets are valid and can be fully refunded by that time. Once the performance starts, no one is allowed in or out until the end of the act, meaning that even if you have to go to the bathroom, you will not be allowed back in, let alone enter the opera house. The opera starts 8:25 p.m. strikes, and here come Dad and entitled Mom. They are dressed to the best of their abilities. The father is in a full suit that has been freshly cleaned, and the mother is in a silver dress with a fur coat on top of it. I greet them at the door, and this is the conversation that follows between me, entitled Mom, and Dad. Me: "Good evening, sir, madam. May I see your tickets, please?" Dad: "Here you go, young man." Entitled Mother: "We came to see our daughter. She is playing in the orchestra tonight." Dad: "I know we are late, but it's an important evening for us. Can we please get in?" Me: "Your tickets are fine, but you're 25 minutes late. The rules state that you must wait until the act is over, and on the break you can find your seats. Since this is a special occasion for you, you can go inside from the upper entrance, but stand on the stairs." I should note that the father was very understanding and aware of the situation, so he agreed, gave me a nod, and started walking towards the upper entrance with his wife. After 10 seconds of walking, entitled Mother let go of his hand and walks back to me. Dad stays where he is. I can see that she's fuming with anger.
"Excuse me? Explain to me why I, as a paying customer, cannot sit on the seats that I paid for?"
"Those are the rules of the opera house, ma'am. You would be making a lot of noise and interrupt at least 20 people by the time you reach your seats."
"You have no right to do that to a paying customer and a mother. This is the rudest thing anyone has ever done to me. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm a journalist, and I'm going to write an article about how poorly I am being treated here. You are going to get fired, you little brat." "Ma'am, please hold on for a moment while I get my boss. He is far more experienced than me, and he'll know what to do. Also, if this is such an important event in your daughter's life, my guess is you'd at least arrive on time." At this point, I went to get my boss as well as security. When I came back, I saw both Dad and entitled Mother arguing in front of the lower entrance where their seats are. The dad is holding her by her arm, trying to stop her from going in while she's screaming at him. Me: "Excuse me, what, Entitled Mother: "You need to shut the hell up, kid. Not only are you degrading me and making me miss my daughter's playing, you're also scamming me out of my money?"
At this point, I stepped down and security arrived. The entire commotion was clearly heard inside as well, so she continued to yell and insult and cuss at my boss and security before being walked out. I told the dad that he was more than welcome to stay, but he refused and said he'll go with her. I can only imagine the hell he must be going through on a daily basis with that pathetic excuse of a human being. Like, I feel like these instances are prime examples of when people dated, it was like hot and steamy because they'd fight, and then they had like fabulous makeup sex, and now like years later they're married and they have a kid, and all that fighting and, you know, uppity behavior just isn't very sexy anymore. It's just like bothersome. I mean, the guy made his own bed. He's laying in it. Thank you for submitting that. Chedmurovsky. Finders keepers? Question mark? Submitted by Kick. Entitled Parent wants to steal an umbrella from an autistic girl. A little bit about myself. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 2 years old. The doctor said I will never be able to function in life and will need to be taken care of. Luckily, they were wrong on how bad it was going to be, and I'm happy to say I can somewhat function on my own. Good for you. Good for you, Kick. However, back then, I was unable to do a lot of things and was sensitive to noises, touch, and was unable to speak. To cope with some of these stressful things, my mother bought me a pink Minnie Mouse umbrella to take with me wherever I go so that I won't get overwhelmed. This umbrella was unique because it had a figure of Minnie Mouse as a handle rather than a regular rubber handle. It was also a two-tone color of pink and had Minnie's name on with a darker color. My mother said that I used to scream bloody murder when I hear the fire trucks and ice cream trucks go by. So this umbrella meant a lot to me. Fast forward to when I was 5 at a parade at Central Park. I was with my mom, my baby sister, my 2 aunts, and my grandmother watching a special parade thrown only once a year. It was my sister and I's first time being there, and we sat on the top bleachers to see the whole thing. I was still sensitive to noise and still had my pink Minnie Mouse umbrella to help me keep calm. At one point, the people who's dressed up as characters in the parade started to interact with the children, and my grandmother took my sister and I, too. While getting up, I accidentally dropped my umbrella and it landed behind the bleachers. I started to panic, but my mother said she would get it for me while I went to see the characters. I saw them for a little bit before heading back to see my mother interacting with a large woman holding my umbrella, her own daughter standing close by her. Their interaction went like this, or so my mother told me, since I don't remember much of that day. Mom, give back my umbrella. It belongs to my daughter. Entitled parent,
No, it doesn't. It belongs to my daughter. She loves Minnie Mouse, and this is her umbrella?
Mom, I saw you take it when I tried to get it back for my child. She dropped it by a mistake. It's hers. This was a moment where I came in seeing my umbrella in this woman's hand, and I went over to her to grab it. Mind you, I am a 5-year-old autistic girl who barely spoke a full sentence and needed the umbrella as a safety blanket of sorts. I remember looking up at her and reaching my hand out saying, "Minnie." This woman had the nerve to move the umbrella away from my reach and gave me a disgusted look. I started to cry, and oh boy, my full-blooded Latina mother was ready to attack this woman. Like, her face went dark and was ready to kill this woman. Luckily, by the grace of God, my 2 aunts came in with a police officer to settle this in a civil manner. He talked to the lady first, and she was saying how it belongs to her daughter and how my mother was trying to steal the umbrella from her. Entitled parent,
Can I press charges? She's trying to steal from me and attack my daughter.
I swear the devil nearly came out of my mother as she started to scream that the woman was trying to steal the umbrella from me. Officer looks at my mom. Do you have any proof that the umbrella belongs to you? My mom. Yes, my daughter's initials are on the inside of the umbrella. Officer looks at entitled parent. What's your daughter's name? The woman hesitated and then said her daughter's name and then asked the same to my mother. My mom. KIC. The officer took the umbrella and opened it up. Inside the plastic of the umbrella, in big black lettering, was KIC. Needless to say, the officer gave me the umbrella and I was happy. I don't remember what happened afterwards with this lady because my mom grabbed my hand and stormed away. We left the parade and never went back since. I don't blame you. That's crazy. Like, here's the thing, like, finders keepers only applies when when you can't find the owner. Like, when someone walks up to you and goes, "That's mine, I dropped it," finders keepers doesn't apply anymore. You're just stealing. That's like going, "Oh, I saw that you dropped your wallet on the floor. It's mine now. You dropped it." Finders keepers. It's equally as logical as just going, "Well, I don't care if it's your daughter's umbrella. I'm keeping it." I'm so happy, KIC, that you feel better now and that they were wrong. And yeah, thank you so much for submitting that story. That's all I have for you guys. If you want your story to be read by me and be in my videos, do comment in my comment section or submit your stories at my Discord. It's more likely that I'll be able to see them if you do it at the submit your stories in the Discord thing, because sometimes it just gets lost in the comments if it's under the video. So definitely check that out. Link in the description to my Discord, and it's, just submit it. I hope you like that, and I hope you liked what I did with your stories. I'm so happy that y'all are so excited about me reading them, that you sent them in. Thank you so much. So fun. And I hope you'll come back next time and submit your own stories and, subscribe. Okay? I post every Friday. See you then.